Hello, good morning to all. We are group 4. I am Sujit. We are going to discuss about temperature maintaining valves. We are mainly going through three topics. They are first is hydroceramic valve, second bottle valve, and third one is frost valve. First, we are moving through hydroceramic valve. We know that in our day-to-day life, the temperature is increasing due to the lack of rain, trees, etc. So the coding of building is a big task for engineers. So hydroceramic wall is a best one of solution for the coding of building. um, then hydroceramic is developed by IACC. They are Institute of Advanced Architecture of California. It consists of mainly three students, girls. They are Agansha Reddy, Elena Mitrofanova, and Marco Paolo. Then first point is what I told earlier, that is it is speculate on thermodynamic process in building with the help of hydrogel. Then hydroceramic require mainly smart material and supporting material. Smart material like hydrogel and supporting material like fabric as water channel and ceramic material. First we want to know about what is hydrogel. Hydrogel is a polymer which expands in water 400 times of its volume. So it consists of 98% of water. So it is very helpful for evaporate and it cools down the surroundings. There is a pictorial representation of hydrogen as shown in the below. Then we said that we need a ceramic material for supporting material. So which ceramic material is suitable for hydroceramic wall? That is a big question for it. So before that, there is a pictorial representation. What it says, heat of vaporization of water is about 0.6 calories per gram. That is shown in this picture. Then we want to know about which ceramic material is suitable. For that, we can conduct a test using the material like plastic, aluminium, and clay. So when after the test, we can identify that there is a 5 degrees Celsius temperature difference and a 200 higher humidity. So by using composite material, so we can understand that composite material has the ability to cool down the space and have the ability to transfer humidity. So when we approach the composite material, we need most abundant composite material in nature and cheap cost. So when we approach like that, we can easily prefer clay for ceramic material. Then the material components of hydroceramic wall. There are mainly three parts. They are interior ceramic, absorbent fabric, and exterior ceramic layer. There is a pictorial representation next slide. That is top part is exterior ceramic layer, middle part is fabric, then down part is interior ceramic layer. Why are they neat? That is told in here. Interior ceramic layer is helpful to push the hydrogel to outward. Then absorbent fabric, it is helpful to spread in water and allow expansion of hydrogel. Then exterior ceramic layer, this layer is for holding the hydrogel. And also there is a picture representation at the right side. It shows the cone-like shape at the hydroceramic wall. It is very helpful for the allow the access of water and air into hydrogel. Then when we look at the pictorial representation, we can say that it is like a sandwich. That is, final prototype is like sandwich. That is I told in the first point at this slide. Then fabric act as a transmitter, and also I said that there is an inner ceramic layer. It is very thin. Thank you.
Uh, the advantages of hydroceramic wall. Um, it decreases the temperature up to 5 to 6 degrees Celsius. The second one, increase the humidity. With the help of accurate energy and thermal analysis of today's technology, hydroceramic system can effectively keep balanced humidity and temperature inside human comfort zone. The next topic is bottle wall. What is bottle wall? Bottle wall is the type of wall where plastic bottles or glass bottles are used as building blocks. They present a binding material. It is a type of sustainable development which maintain the environment as well as include binding material and also ensures the safety to life and property. This type of construction decrease mainly the cost of construction. This main highlights the construction type of construction decrease mainly the cost of construction. Construction of bottle wall. Binding mixture. A typical mortar mix is 3:1 mason sand to a porcelain cement mix. Other mixture could be made from mortar and clay. Bottle walls range 1 bottle to 2 bottle thick. Primitive mixture such as concrete or clay can be used as mortar to bind the bottles. It is thickly spread on the previous layer of bottles, followed by the next layer which is pressed into it. Another technique is the plastic bottles are filled and tightly packed with the sieved sand. Once filled, the bottle becomes a bottle brick. The sieves and filled bottles are called bottle bricks. A wall-made bottle bricks is up to 20 times stronger than a wall constructed of concrete blocks. Next, the classification. Based on the type of construction, bottle walls are classified into two. The first one, vertical bottle wall construction, and second one, horizontal bottle wall construction. In vertical bottle wall construction, bottles that are placed right side up with a frame will make a vertical bottle wall. And in horizontal bottle wall construction, once the frame for the building is constructed, the bottles are laid horizontally by using mortar in between and for the finish.
Evening, myself is Maya KV. We were discussing about the bottle wall construction, and then we have to know about the temperature analysis of a bottle wall. When the bottle are filled with a liquid or a dark colored material, the wall can act as a thermal mass. That means it will absorb solar radiation during the daytime and radiating it back into the space at night. It is very useful at a colder region, but it can turn a room into oven when it is in a hotter region. And in normally the bottles are filled with the sand. In this kind of bottle wall construction, it will also act similar to the concrete wall. For example, the places with a high temperature at daytime and a reduced temperature at night time. In this kind of climate, how the concrete wall is behaving, similarly the bottle wall also behaving. And then advantages over bricks. The first advantages of a bottle wall construction is low cost. It is a low cost construction. Cost of a plastic or a glass bottle is very less compared to brick or concrete block, and it have a very good aesthetic view. When we consider a plastic bottle, it is non-brittle and it absorbs and abrupt shock load, and it is a bioclimatic material. Bottle walls are a bioclimatic material. In bottle wall, bioclimatic materials are used. That means plastic and glass bottles, etc., are a bioclimatic material. That means it have an efficient way of usage of energy. And when we compare to a concrete wall construction or a brick wall construction, less construction material is wanted in the bottle wall construction. And the next is it is very easy to build, and it is a green construction method and also a sustainable construction method. According to the data, India alone formed 205 million amount of plastic waste in 2020. The more efficient way than the recycling of plastic, it is a reuse of plastics. That means the waste bottles can be used as a building material. By this method, waste management is also done. And the next is disadvantages of a bottle wall construction. First disadvantage of plastic is a undecomposable and indestructible material. And the next is when plastic is melted, it will release a harmful gas, for example carbon monoxide, etc. It is harmful for both health and environment. And the plastic is mainly made from the oil, and it will may lead to the shortage of oil in future. And if we used glass bottles in the construction, glass bottles may break during the construction, and it will may cause accidents. And the next type of wall we are discussing is frost wall. From the picture we can understand that it is mainly used in the colder regions. Then we have to know what is the frost wall. Frost walls are the isolated walls that are constructed around the periphery of the foundation and also constructed above the ground in the interior of the building structure. This will act as an insulation to maintain the warmth of the building. And from the and next is need of the frost wall. There is a picture. It's a picture representation of soil beneath the foundation. It mainly consists of a air column, water, and a solid. And when the temperature fall is occur, the water is formed into ice, and this ice is and the volume increases. This ice is known as ice lands, and due to this, the foundation may dislocated to upward. There will be a swelling to upward. This process is called a frost heave, and when otherwise the temperature is increases, then this ice lands again changed into water, and the volume decreases, and the dislocation of a foundation again happen, but in the opposite side. Then frost heave. Frost heave is an upward swelling of soil due to the formation of ice during freezing condition. It usually occurs when the freezing temperature penetrates the soil and turns the present moisture into ice, thereby generating an upward movement in the soil. As freezing temperature penetrates into the soil, it converts the soil moisture into ice. When the moisture at freezing area solidifies, water from other parts soil would move towards the freezing area through the capillary action. This leads to the increase in the size of the ice mass. Soil weight and other objects above would restrain ice size growth, and consequently ice lenses are formed. It is reported that When the moisture converted into ice, the water in the soil converted into the ice, its size may be increases by 9%. When the temperature, and then we already talked about when temperature declines. Also, when the temperature declines, the ice melts and structure low backs to its location under its weight. When freezing and thawing process is repeated, it would severely deteriorate and possibly collapse. And this picture is a frost heave damaged concrete. And next, effect of frost heave. The main effect of frost heave are destruction of channel in a freezing season, and also decline in load carrying capacity of a subgrade, and also undulations and considerable damages to the pavement. Damaged foundation and slabs are also an effect of a frost heave. And this is up to this my topic, and next will continue by Anita.
The other reason for the need of frost wall is dampness and high humidity. In the figure shows how moisture penetrates into the walls as walls get wet. This weakens the wall and also loses the aesthetic beauty of the building. Even it harms the health of the occupants. Usually the moisture enters our building through the foundation. Evaporation of moisture causes increase in humidity. When warm air meets cold air, condensation occurs. Thus, the moisture sticks on the walls or windows. It may be in the form of frost. Thus, the frost wall becomes necessary. Now, let's see the type of frost walls. They are classified into two categories based on the criteria like loading, temperature, etc. The two categories are load-bearing frost wall and non-load-bearing frost wall. Load-bearing frost wall. As the name indicates, these frost walls are capable of carrying loads. They are only constructed during extreme freezing temperature, which means in places where soil freezes and water in soil converts to icelands, so that frost heave occurs, as we discussed in the earlier slides. In order to resist this, the load-bearing frost walls are constructed beneath the foundation and also beneath the frost line. So, by frost line it means the depth to which the soil freezes. It is the depth up to which the soil freezes. Here you can see in the figure, here we are not providing any vertical insulations, only horizontal insulation of frost walls are provided. Now moving on to the next type of frost wall, it is non-load bearing frost walls. These frost walls are constructed just like an insulating wall. It is not capable of bearing load, and it is constructed on periphery of foundation like interior walls, and they are provided as a vertical walls as in the figure. Now let us see the construction of frost wall. The first step is to prepare a properly prepared foundation wall. It means that there should not be any crack and gaps in the foundation wall or the existing walls. The walls made of cinder blocks should use brick fillers to fill the gap, and walls of poured cement should use concrete repair kit, so that the penetration of moisture is prevented. Now we need a sturdy frame. By sturdy frame it means a rigid frame. A frame of 2x4 or 2x3 inch size of which is made of lumber is used for this purpose. The top plate and the bottom plate has the width equal to the width of the wall. Now vertical studs should be used to connect the top and bottom plate. The height of the vertical studs should be height of wall minus 3 inches in order to accommodate the top and bottom plates. And these vertical studs are placed at a spacing of 16 inches. Now the whole assembly is moved in front of the existing wall, and from the existing wall it should at least have a distance of 3/4. Then these are screwed to the wall. The next step is to provide sufficient insulation. For this, select a paper face insulations are required. These paper face insulations are stapled to fit the 16-inch space provided between the studs. The paper surface should face the room. The next step is to provide vapor barriers. Plastic or polyurethane vapor barriers are used for this purpose. They are placed inside the frost wall and stapled to the wall studs. Any holes or seams present are covered with a sheathing tape. Then finally, wall finishes with a dry or paneling or other materials. In the olden days, the materials used for frost walls were lumber and concrete. But in modern days, nowadays, we get precast materials from the companies, which they have patent for these materials like monoslab EZ foam and EPS insulation foam, B blocks, etc. They are brought from the market and directly used in the field. This EPS insulation means expanded polystyrene products. And these are our references which help us to make this project. So we hope all of you understood the concept of our topic, temperature maintaining walls. Thank you.